Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. and today we are doing an unboxing and rambling for Cyclades Legendary Edition. Coffee shot as usual, we're ready to go over here, and for those who are new to the channel, unboxing and ramblings means we're going to talk about the game, but also possibly anything else. I make no guarantees where the conversation goes. Sometimes it is 100% about the game, other times it's like 5%. I don't think we go below 5%. That would be a very low number as far as talking about the game. And Cyclades, this is one I've been waiting for a very long time. I cover a lot of crowdfunding. I cover a lot of crowdfunding games. I play a lot of new games on a regular basis, both crowdfunding and otherwise, which means as much as I generally think most of the games I play are good, there's a difference between good and what's the word I'm looking for? There's a difference between good and being excited about a game, or excitability. I was going to say excitability, and I think I just mean being excited about a game. Because there's a lot, let's just turn this upside down, there's a lot of good games. There's a lot of good games. Hundreds, thousands of good games come out every single year. But then there's those games that make you think, ooh, I should be playing that over my other favorite games. And in the case of Cyclades, it's not over my other favorite games, it is one of my favorite games. This is just the Legendary Edition of it. And I'll also say that when it comes to reprints or revisions of a previous game, sometimes they are amazing, sometimes they are good, and sometimes they are bad. And so you never really know exactly what you're signing up for when you go ahead and replace one of your favorite games with the newest version of that game. And having played the Legendary Edition over here, because I did cover the prototype, I can say that I thought, well, it's not everything's perfect, which is usually the case. This happened with like Kemet as well, where you have a better game, but where I prefer the graphic design of the original. And in the case of Cyclades, like, this looks good. I think this genuinely looks good. I like the look of the game. I think it's a good game. If this was on the shelf on its own, I'd be interested in buying it completely irrespective of the original. But because I have the original, I think the original looks better. And it's no dig to, I believe it's, who's the author? It's Miguel Coimbra. No dig to Miguel Coimbra. I think his art is fantastic. I think his art here is fantastic. I just really like how the original Cyclades has a slightly grittier tone to it. This one is a bit more cartoonish, which I like cartoon drawings. I really genuinely do. I like cartoon artwork in games. I think it can look fantastic. I just like the original look of Cyclades. This was a weird pivot because I was in the middle of saying how this one holds up and then immediately go into how it doesn't hold up, but it does hold up mechanically. Mechanically, it's much better than the original. Not much better, it's a straight. Mechanically, it feels like they took the best parts of Cyclades, streamlined it out, and made a better game system. I would easily rather play this over the original Cyclades, no question whatsoever. But I also recognize that everything goes into the game, and I do think the art is not as good. Although the graphic design, from what I recall, the graphic design is fine. And that's important because when it comes to Kemet, I both preferred the original art, and I thought the graphic design was also worse. And I think the combination there, I do have a soft spot for the original Kemet. Anyways, speaking of which, by the way, they're redoing Inish. At this point, 3 of my favorite games, Kemet, Cyclades, and Inish, have all gotten a new version, although the Inish is like barely, it's like a 1.1 version, as opposed to these others are like a solid 1.5 to 2 version. Anyways, we have the setup for the game. I do need to read these rules again. The problem is, as much as I play the prototype, and as much as I know Cyclades well, the fact that I know Cyclades well is exactly the problem. Because that makes it more likely that I'm going to jump into this with the knowledge I have of the original Cyclades, as opposed to this game. So I do need to refresh myself on the rules for this. I was actually at a gaming retreat recently, and some people were sitting down playing Cyclades, and let me just go through the rules here, let's come back to this. So we have the gods, the mandatory actions, the breakdown. This all looks good, looks pretty straightforward. Again, I will have to read it to fine-tune what I know versus what I don't know. We have team play. I don't know if I've ever done team play in Cyclades. I really don't know if I have. And this combines elements of the original game and the expansions, but not all elements of the expansions. I think the best elements in general. Like there's host of expansion content for Cyclades that I never heavily played with because they were the best parts to go through. We have our heroes over here, lots of heroes. Yeah, the rules are pretty straightforward. I mean, it's a 20-page rule book, but we have, some pages of setup, we have some pages of just the heroes, and then we have a handful of pages. It's a pretty straightforward game in this world full of games that get increasingly more complex and complicated the longer things go on. And that makes sense. When it comes to designing a game, there's only so many times you can be simple and elegant. At a certain point, if you want to be different, you have to start adding layers of complexity, because I guess the most basic way I like to put it is if you're combining 3 letters, if you're combining letters of the alphabet, and it's a 3-letter string, there's a very finite way you can combine those because you can just put them in all configurations of 3 letters. But if you do 7-letter strings, there's more ways you can combine those things. That's true of game design as well. the simpler the game, usually the harder it is to nail on something simple that is also unique, has not been done before, and amazing. The more layers you add to it, the more you can find something that's unique, has not been done before, and is amazing, but inherently the more complexity you add, you're also making it slightly harder to learn, table, and teach. But you might be able to hit the unique, amazing, and has not been done before parts. So those are like the four kind of things you're trying to balance. How easy is a game to learn? How unique is it? How good is it? Were those only three? Unique. I may have added something that I don't remember. Anyways, that's basically the idea as far as, this is a great game. It's very simple, very straightforward, done very well, and now we have all, miniatures already. See, I never really got a good look at the miniatures last time. I don't even remember if they had miniatures when I covered the prototype. I think I had 1 or 2 miniatures and then a lot of meeples. We do have the meeples as well. I'll show you those too for those who wanted a meeple version. And then we have our god tiles over here. I think I was telling you about how good Cyclades was. What was I telling you about? The 1.5 version? Oh, I was at a gaming retreat. And some people were sitting down playing Cyclades, and I hadn't played it in like 8 months or whatever it is, and I just was able to walk straight over and just teach them the game, like, just off the cuff without having to look at the rulebook or anything. Because, and to be clear, there's not a ton of games that I can do that with. There are a lot of games that I know, but if I haven't played a game in 8 months, I'll usually have to reference the rulebook while I'm teaching it. But this is both straightforward, and I've played it a lot, that I was able to teach it like right away. To be clear, the original edition, not the Legendary Edition. The Legendary Edition I need to reread the rules for because I don't have that down pat. We're going to have our god board over here because you still have a sideboard for Cyclades, covering the various gods you'll be laying out. You basically have gods that you're bidding for their favor in the game. That's the general arc of the game. You're bidding for the favor of the gods, and each god decides what you can do. Are you going to be Ares and actually invade? Are you going to be Poseidon and actually, I don't know, Poseidon and deal with the waters? Random fun fact over here. I've been watching listening. I've been listening to Epic the Musical. If you haven't heard of that, check that out. It's like a 2-hour-long music video, sort of, semi-video, more music. It's really good. I like it a lot. I'm not even done yet, but like I've been re-listening to the songs I've found that I liked a lot. I thought of that because Poseidon, there's a song called Ruthlessness. Ruthlessness is great. Monster is great. The main reason I found out about it is because they've been using this part of Epic the Musical in a lot of recent reels, and it's just like, it had me thinking, like, what's that from? It almost sounded like Hamilton, and then when I looked it up, I was like, let me listen to this musical, because it's about Odysseus, it's about the Odyssey and whatnot, and I like the story of the Odyssey in general. I like Greek mythology in general, hence part of this game, and so I started listening to the whole thing, and it is so good. Like, genuinely, if you haven't heard of Epic the Musical, start listening to the musical. It's not an actual musical, to be clear. It's a concept musical, so maybe they'll eventually turn into a musical, but right now it's just the music. It is really good. Not every song is a banger, but there's a lot of bangers in there. Lots of good songs. Honestly, if there's one thing you get out of this unboxing video, if you discover that thing, Epic the Musical, for the first time, it's well worth it. Well worth it. In my opinion, obviously, because I'm recommending it. Anyways, let's go ahead and open these miniatures over here, see what we got. Oh, I was going to say, the original game had, they had standees, they had miniatures. I feel it's in the middle of the train. Oh, yeah, the teaching thing, I covered it already. Alright, we got miniatures, but I don't want to go through all the miniatures yet. So we have 4 trays. Well, we probably have more trays, but we have trays for the various, these are each faction trays. I'm not going to show you all of them because I don't need to show you all of them. I just need to show you one of them because they're exactly the same. But we have more of these. We have our coins. Okay, great. We have like so many things in this box. This is like, let's see. We got these sheets of paper in between, which are keeping things nice, but we're going to throw those out. Ooh, I like those shades. You know what? We will show you the shades of the colors of the factions because I think that's fun to see. We'll show you the revised land tiles. We need to put this off to the side as well. Okay, lots of things to go through. We're just going to deal with this all one at a time. What are those even? What are those? I don't know what they are. Okay, and then we have this core over here. So, we're going to show you all of this, and we'll just do it one layer at a time before putting it all back. I'm realizing I'm running out of ideal space to do this. We're just going to do a stacking system. So, we got our core layer down here, which is this. This is the core layer of the insert. I might zoom in a drop so we can, show you some things better. We'll zoom in more when we do the miniatures, but just show you this right now. We have our cards, some more cards, our bag, which I assume is for the coins, but honestly, I don't remember if something else that needs a bag. And then we have our map tiles. This is a big change from the original Cyclades that had a board, but now you can design your own map tiles or use their prefabricated setups. And it does have a kind of drafting system. I don't even know how this fits together. There's got to be a way this naturally fits without me. Here, that looks like it goes there. There we go. You see? So you got that over there. And you're obviously going to use different amounts of tiles depending on the player count. And this can fit in over here. And now look at that. We've created our own little board of a little Greek area that everything's going to fit into nicely enough. So you can see how you can build out these boards. We already have our smaller board here. And there you go. You got a little knife fight in a, what's it called? A knife fight in a gun club? No, a knife fight in a phone booth? I think that's the expression. A knife fight in a gun club. That's not what the expression is. Bringing a knife to a gun fight. I've heard that one. And a knife fight in a phone booth. I've heard that one. A knife fight in a gun club is like something Keanu Reeves would do. John Wick, Keanu Reeves, to be clear. Anyways, these are the tiles, giving you a lot of variation and flexibility to your board. So if you ever got bored of how the Cyclades board was very static, this is not going to be a problem for you here. Although honestly, Cyclades was so well done that I don't think I ever got bored of the board. Pun not intended, but inherent, just based on the language used. So we got our cards as well over here. So we got some of our various creature cards. Okay, we're zooming in again now. Now we're going to the full zoom in shot because we're going to be doing miniatures next anyway. So these are going to be the various monsters. Again, I like the art over here, but I still like the original art of Cyclades. This is very solid. I have no complaints on its own. I only have complaints in the sense that I do like the original. I also like this, but I like the original more. But hey, it's still nice. I'll take the full package. Penelope, and if you're wondering why, that's because Odysseus. That's all that's happening here. Do we actually have Odysseus? I don't think we have Odysseus, but maybe we do because there's a full another set of cards. So let's see if we have Odysseus. That'd be nice. We have Pericles. We have Penelope. I don't actually know if that's supposed to be that Penelope. I honestly don't know. This is where like I like Greek mythology and in general, but I don't know it like super well. I just know it loosely well. Although I did hear an expression or a joke recently, which I thought was very on point. A very good joke because it's funny because it's true. That kind of conversation. Where the joke was, the expression "don't look a gift horse in the mouth" is an odd expression when one of the biggest fake gifts of all time was a horse, referring to the Trojan horse. I think the expression was a little more eloquently phrased, but it is a funny point when you think about it. We're like, don't look at the gift horse in the mouth. And then meanwhile, we have the Trojan horse, which should have been looked in the mouth to see exactly what was going on there. I should rewatch Troy. I think Troy was a good movie. Like that, the Brad Pitt movie. I think it was good. It's been so long that I don't remember. I think I enjoyed it, but it's been so long. I am excited for Christopher Nolan is doing the Odyssey. Speaking of the Odyssey, I'm very excited for that. Anyways, so we got more cards over here. Some of the basic for like the philosophers and all that, and then we have the priestesses. Were they previously were they priests last time? I think they were priests and philosophers, and now they're philosophers and priestesses, I assume. But either way, those are going to be the small cards you're going to be buying from the very standard actions in the game. We have some more cards to go for. Let's see if we got Odysseus over here. But Chimera, Cyclops. Oh, the Cyclops. So the Cyclops is definitely in there. Okay, Cyclops is Poseidon's child. We have the Griffin, the Harpy, the Pegasus, the Satyr, Sphinx, Sylph, Cerberus, Hydra, Kraken, Medusa, Minotaur, Polyphemus, Ajax, Odysseus. We have Odysseus over here. You see, I'm a little obsessed with Epic the Musical. I'm sorry for that. Anyways, we got Helen, Pandora, and that's going to be your sets of cards. I don't know why it's broken up like that, because we have monsters in one and then monsters in the other, but I'll keep it like it is for right now. I'll actually circle this inwards and go through it later. Okay, that is layer 1. Layer 1 is done, which means now we get to go to layer 2, which means I get to do this little adjustment over here. This is going to go in here, this will go in here. I'll properly sort it all later. Right now I'm just getting it all done. Alright, this we can come back to soon. Let's do these. Let's do these, then we'll do these, then we'll do those. Okay, that's the order. We got our order now. Now we can just go ahead and carry it out. So, we have our coins. These are very solid coins, which is great because honestly, I've blinged out my original Cyclades. This is an improvement over the blinged out version, but I like my original amount of coins, and these are some pretty nice coins overall. So, we got these as your nice clickety-clack coins that are awesome. I like them. They got a nice heft to it. They feel cool, and yeah, I'm happy to have these. Do they have regular cardboard punch trays coins, or I assume not, because sometimes when you have deluxe versions, maybe it's in here. I don't need them, but sometimes when you have deluxe versions, they will you'll still have basic components, and other times you will not. So we have our 4 basic building types over here. These are going to be the different buildings that you can have added to your board as you build out, working your way up towards metropolises. So I'll just show you them. In fact, I'll show them to you like this. So we have our, I don't even remember the names of these, but this is like the harbor, gives you +1 to naval battles, both offensively and defensively. We have our fortress, which is going to be +1 to land battles. Inherently, that's only defensively. We have the temple over here, which is going to give you a discount on buying various monster cards, which is great. Stack a bunch of those and just go crazy. And then we have the I guess the temple or whatever. This, I don't know what this is called, but this one is the boring one. It's one thing that's always been interesting about Cyclades is you have this incredibly boring god with boring stuff that it does, but it's like necessary for winning, but not necessary. It's like a key strategy in pushing the levers of the game so that you can set yourself up for victory, but like they're kind of boring as far as what they do. They're just, you know, it's sometimes helpful. It's like going for victory points in a game. Sometimes it's not the fun thing, but it's the way you win. Then we have the actual metropolises, which is going to be a combination of all 4. Love the colors padding over there. I do wonder if somebody wants to go ahead and sun drop their own, just give it a little shading. I'd love to see what these look like shaded before ruining my own. So I'm going to pay attention to the internets and see if anyone does that. I will happily do it on my own if it's good, but I want to make sure it's good. Here we have the various cornucopia tiles over here. This is just a small handful from the box. These are going to give you increased income on the board, which is very helpful. My personal preferred way to play this game has always been, let's punch these out over here because we got this little punch board over here. My personal preferred way to win has always been about income. I'm a money person. I'm like, get the money. If you can, who controls the banks controls. I should probably stop talking. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next stuff over here, the various miniatures. I can't tell if that was funny or pushing it too far over the line. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and show these guys. I don't actually remember what these guys are for because we have some basic units over here that aren't from any particular faction. I assume they're from some module or something, but I don't actually remember. So I'm not sure if that's my lack of memory of how to play Cyclades, or my lack of knowledge as to the expansions, or my lack as to the changes in this version. But something is missing over there. Alright, let's put this back and then go through the faction trays, and then we'll go through the monsters, and then we'll be done. This is a relatively short unboxing, and honestly, as far as rambling goes, we're so far at like 80% Cyclades, I think. We're doing pretty... Oh, what's going on here? Why are you... Oh, I know what's going on, because we need to show you... Okay, we can't put this back yet. We'll put it back soon. 2 of the faction trays go underneath. So, speaking of which, let's show you the faction trays. So these are going to be the individual units for the individual miniatures for the factions. So we have their tokens over here that are basically their placement tokens. These are going to be the things that you place down to indicate that you still control a territory even when you leave it, because you still control a territory even when you leave it. Then we're going to have their dice. They all have their own individual die over here. It's nice. It's got a nice little marbled look to it, so like it's got slightly marbled texture, which I do like. And then we got our units. We have our ships. And then I guess, do we have different, we might have different unit types for each kind, so maybe I will show you them. But we have over here, this is going to be your ship unit, your ship miniature, and then we're going to have your actual archer miniature over here. In fact, when we're done with these, maybe this will be a good time to show you the other trays. But yeah, that's the faction tray. This is purple. I shouldn't show you purple because I like purple. It shows up well on camera, and you have your little faction tray that kind of looks like this. But then, we're going to show you the other faction trays, because I think there are differences. Nope, no differences. Oh, wait, now. Okay, there are some differences. In fact, we actually have 2 unit types over here. But I'll just show you, I'm going to show you the trays. Okay, so if we show you the trays, this one over here has, you can see the individual archers. We have 2 archer sculpts over here. That's what we got for these. Then, for the green one, we again have 2 archer sculpts. I also forgot to show you their little bid marker. Those are the bid markers on the bid order track. But we have our, again, 2 different archer sculpts kneeling down, and a slightly different, more of a Spartan helm, like very, I don't know why I said Spartan helm, I'm just saying Spartan. Oh, speaking of Greek things, I'm currently playing through Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2. So, not Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2. I'm also playing through Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, I don't think this is a Greek phase that I'm in. I think I just happen to have been doing a bunch of Greek things, playing a Greek video game, listening to a Greek musical, and then also unboxing a Greek game. Just doing all those things at the same time, unrelated. No specific reason for it. I'm just glad my daughter hasn't gotten me to read Percy Jackson just yet. Percy Jackson's not bad. I'm currently in the middle of reading The Ranger's Apprentice because of her, because she wanted me to read it. She likes The Ranger's Apprentice. And I've tried Percy Jackson Jackson. I think it's okay, but I could also be doing that in theory if we're adding more things. So we have more over here. We got some nice sculpts, by the way. I do like how even the ship sculpts are like different. So we got different ship sculpts for like different factions. We have different unit types. Again, 2 different sculpts over there. So I like the color on these. They show up really nice on camera as well. But this is like a nice popping blue. I like that a lot. Then we have our red faction. Now red and yellow are next, good, which I'm saving black. Oh, all these 3 colors do not show up nearly as well on camera, just for the record. Like red tends to be a little more glaring on camera for whatever reason. But again, we got our 2 sculpts, we got our ship miniatures, we got our little bid token. I do like how unique all of these are. That's really a nice little like touch over there. We have, I'm trying to figure out what's worse, black or yellow. We'll show you black, but I don't know how well it's going to show up. Yeah, that's not going to be great. We'll take the black ones out over here. So we're going to show you some black miniatures. Let's go here and here. Let me just, sorry, we got 1 and 2. Are these 2 different sculpts? Are we dropping them? We are dropping them. Yep, we got our 2 different sculpts over here. So these guys are going to be your black units. I do wish, like, I feel like they're missing a nice green. Did I cover the green? The green was a snake one. We had green, never mind. But yeah, I like the sculpts overall. This is upside down, that's why I'm not putting it in. We have the ships. I like the variety. I do enjoy the variety of it. It makes you feel like you're playing. One of the things I've always liked about Blood Rage is how each faction has different sculpts. So you kind of like, even though they're the same as far as the game's concerned, you still want to play as different factions just to try out the different, the art and the sculpts of the miniatures. I haven't played Blood Rage in too long. I feel like it's been a while since I played Blood Rage. Like, I might have been over a year. Still a great game, but yeah. Okay, and then we have our box full of miniatures over here, the various monster miniatures, some nice double tone miniatures in terms of like the water effects. You'll see all that in a second, but first coffee. Then we have our heroes. So heroes wise, I'll show you a bunch of them. I don't know if I'll show you all of them, but these are the individual heroes you can control. I actually think I like these sculpts of the original heroes more. Maybe it's the coloring, I don't know. But like these are, everything else has been great as far as miniatures and sculpts. Like sure, I've complained about the artwork a little bit, but like these over here, I have to look at my original Cyclades, which I still have. I have to get rid of my original Cyclades. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm not going to keep it. That feels like a waste. I'm gonna get rid of my original Cyclades at some point. Okay, but we got again pretty decent miniatures overall. I think it might be just the color. I'm not sure if it's the actual game itself. We'll show you some more of these. I'm not showing you every single one, by the way, so if you're like, hey, I thought I had one that you didn't see, that's because I'm showing you like most. I'm showing you over half of the hero miniatures. I'll show you all the monster miniatures because those are nice large sculpts that I definitely want to show. One of these was Odysseus. Yes, I'm still a little obsessed right now. I have to finish Epic Musical. Alright, we got these over here. Zoom in, there we go. So again, more sculpts. Pretty solid overall. Nothing like, you know, I'm not like, these aren't like, there are some games where the sculpts make me want the game. And then there's games that have good miniatures. This is a game that has good miniatures. It doesn't make me want the game. Although I will say the monsters are fun. So now let's go through this in roughly my, you know what I'm just going to do. I can't do completely the order I want. I think I did have some of these, I think. Anyways, we have our various miniatures on the board. So these are the various monsters you can recruit in different ways. So that's like the example of the two-tone thing, that ocean effect going on, which I really like. I don't know if they specifically do that to monsters that go in the water or not, because so far it does look like they kind of did. But that actually is a nice twist, kind of showing you where they get placed. I really like this miniature. This is a pretty solid one. This one might be my least favorite. I don't know. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't know if I care for the actual beasts themselves. It's like a good, as far as miniature quality and what's representing, it's great. This one, on the other hand, having a giant kraken with like holding the ships over there, like the ships are torn apart. I don't know how you can see that, but that's a torn apart ship in 2 of its tentacles. I think that's great. Then we have, my son's going to love this game. Oh my gosh. My son loves playing with all the miniatures in my games, and he saw this box yesterday, and he's like, can you set it up so that I can play it? And I was like, no, I have to do an unboxing first. So I'm denying him a toy. Don't worry, there's an entire set of Apex Legends over here set up to the side that I made sure he has to play with. I make sure they have their miniatures to play with at any given point. Just yes, at certain points for a day or two, something is unavailable until I go through the unboxing process. But yeah, he likes my board games. He likes playing them a lot. I mean, I have multiple kids. I say he because one in particular is obsessed with every single game I have. And the others are just like game by game. Like they'll see it set up, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, and they'll play. But one of them is obsessed. Well, besides me, obviously. Then we got this guy over here. This is the giant, I think this is a Cyclops. He, if I recall correctly, he pushes everyone away from his island when he puts them down, which is one of those abilities that, like a lot of the abilities in the monsters, sometimes they feel a little bit underwhelming when you're like, I only got it for like a turn. But then you play with them and you're like, oh, that turn is the turn I won the game because I was able to drop down a thing and then push you away. I'm going to save this one for last because I want to save a miniature. I'm going to do these last ones in this order. But yeah, sometimes they seem a little underwhelming. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're great. Like, oh, I'm just going to kill your guy on your island and just go there and escape a battle entirely. Other times they feel a little underwhelming and it's just about situational awareness. This game is all about situational awareness. It's all about reading the board, understanding when you have to bid, making sure you're wealthy, and then, you know, using the Cyclops at the right moment to ensure that you manage to control for victory in a turn that otherwise you may not have been able to. And it's not just the turns you win. They're very helpful. Oh, by the way, this giant boar situation. So if you played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, did you play against the freaking stupid boar? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, there's a boar fight in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and if you haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm about to do you a favor. When you have the boar fight, I tried it like 15 times, and I got so close to killing it like one of the times. Well, many times I got destroyed, but one time I came so close to killing it, and I was down to the last health, and then they charged me again with their stupid boars that keep spawning, and I died again. And then I went online because I was annoyed with it, and I found out that if you go into the cave, there's a ledge you can stand on and just shoot the boar and it can't touch you. Feels like it's a glitch, although thematically that's actually how you hunt boars, by being unavailable to be attacked. So thematically it works, but feels like it's a glitch. But also it is the stupidest, hardest fight in the game that I've had in any way. Nothing has been remotely close to it, so I'm okay with what I did. Also, you're welcome if you've been struggling with that, and you're welcome if you watch this video at some point in the future while you happen to be playing Assassin's Creed. And this is a good video for anyone who likes Greek things. I'll say that. We got the Hydra. I guess that's the Hydra. I can't remember. There's a Hydra with the there's a dragon with multiple heads, but like, isn't it? I think it's a Hydra. I think so, maybe. And then we got this thing, which just feels like a dune sandworm, but just in the water instead. That's what we got. Ooh, look at the ship. Look at the ship. I love the detail. You see, that's what I'm saying. That's like so cool. This is like, I'm pretty happy with the miniatures. Anyways, that is what we got, except for the fact that I totally forgot. I said I was going to show you the meeples right after I showed you the other guys. I thought it was going to be a good time in the video to show it to you. But then I forgot. So now I'm going to show you the meeples now instead. And then I have to go through and set this up, because like I told you, my son wants me to set this up for him so he can play it, which I will do, because I'm a good father. Anyways, let's put these over here. Do they fit in that way? No, we'll put this like that. And I guess you guys can go like this, maybe. I don't love how this is done, but it does the job-ish. Okay, good enough. And we'll put this back away, and then we will... Oh, we got some other things to show you. I'll put it all away later. I'll go through it all properly. But for right now, we're going to close this up, show you some meeples, and then show you the various other things there are. Okay. And then we got these, some sleeves, and some... Whoa, what's this? Oh, we got our... Why is this separate? Why is this separate? I don't know. This is one of the gods you have access to in the game. This is the boring god, ironically, the boring one, and they put it separate, which I will just put off the side and put together later. We have our tuck boxes for your various factions. I don't know if these are meant to be assembled. I'm going to have to look into this. These are obviously meant to be assembled, but do they fit in the box at the same time? I'm trying to think where in the box they would fit, and I don't see a way that they would fit in the box. I have to look into this and figure out exactly how this is meant to be handled. Or are these meant for these? I guess these are meant for these, but this doesn't fit into the box that I can think of. That box is fairly packed. So I have to figure out exactly how these work. But again, it's nice to have these overall. We just have the different faction boxes. This is where I'll dump the meeples for right now, because we have a separate area for the miniatures. But I don't know where these are going to go right now, except for just on top of there at the moment. And then we got our extra things over here. Wood bits for those who like wood bits. And honestly, this is where it's interesting, because I don't know if I care for the wood bits left, right, and center. I think I do remember having these in the prototype. I think there was some degree of basic and people on the island that you took down. I don't know. Okay, let's show you some of these, or just one of these, I guess. And then we got this as your little wooden meeple. And we have the same for all of these. Now, I am curious, are there different sculpts for them? No. So this time around, what they did is they printed different colors on different things on the shield. So let me just go ahead and grab one of each. And I will say they have wooden tokens for your presence markers. These I like better than the plastic ones in the box. So I might even try to see if I can put those in instead and swap those out. The wood versus plastic mismatch I won't love. The OCD part of me won't love it, but I think it's fine. Let me go ahead and just throwing out these silica packets over here. And then we're going to grab one of each guy, show you all the things so you can see them all. They're all exactly the same. They just have different animals on their shields because that's their faction animal or whatever. And then we also have, oh, we have your bidding marker, which are wood. These are wood bidding markers. Okay. Although I like the plastic ones better because they've got like a cool sculpt on top, which I imagine would be hard to do with wood. I don't know what extent you can mass produce things with wood in terms of like custom aspects. Like usually if it's flat, that's doable. But like once it goes 3D, that's very hard to do with wood. Because just, I'm saying that not with knowledge of manufacturing, but with knowledge of the fact that I haven't seen it. And if I haven't seen it, it's probably hard to do. Okay. Let's go ahead and show you these. I'm just going to lay them all on my hand and show you them. They're all exactly the same, just small differences in the animal on their shield. Let's put this here, and here, and here. And then we're going to wrap up, because there's nothing else to really show you. But yeah, there you go. There's your various wooden meeples over here. They're nice. There's a degree of chonkiness to them. Like, they're thick. They're not thin or anything. You can see each shield is a little different as far as what it's showing. And then I show you the ship over there with the snake on it. And that is what we have, which means I'm going to go ahead and clean this last stuff up. But that's your unboxing for Cyclades Legendary Edition. I hope to be playing this as soon as I possibly can, because this is an excellent game, and I think it's an excellent game. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and rambling, and as always, I hope you have a good one.